Hello, this is NeoTuck, and this is my tutorial video for Redstone for Minecraft 1.11. Now, what is Redstone? Redstone is a magical dust found in Minecraft with properties similar to that of electricity. When placed on a block, it's in its inert state and produces no effect. However, if it receives a charge from a power source, such as this redstone block, the redstone will glow and produce a particle effect. This means that the redstone has been positively charged by the block. Now, if you place redstone adjacent to it, the redstone will link up like a wire and carry the charge. Now, it is important to note that there is a limit to the charge, and for every redstone that it crosses, it will go down by one charge. That begins with 16 and continues on until there is no charge at all. It is also important to note that the redstone will receive a signal from charged blocks on any direction, whether it be from the top, the side, or even directly below it. In this tutorial, I will be discussing the components of redstone, to which I've divided into three types. The first being the power source, which is used to generate the redstone signal. The next being the devices of redstone, which are used to receive a signal to produce an effect. And finally, a combination of the two, which functions like that of a redstone device by receiving a signal, but then produces a signal at the time, usually in the manner of either strengthening or altering the signal. Now, the first power source I will be discussing is the redstone block, and it is crafted using 9 redstone, 1 in each slot. This block is pretty much permanently turned on and will always keep its charge. The next power source I'll be discussing is called the lever, and is crafted using 1 stick and 1 cobblestone. When you first place it down, it starts off in the off position, and you have to right-click it to turn it on, and it will remain on until you click it again. In addition, you can also place it on a block and charge the block like such. The next power source is the button, and it comes in 2 forms. The first being the stone button, which is crafted using 1 stone, and the next being the wooden button, which is just crafted with any wooden plank. There is no difference between the two, as they pretty much function the same. Now, when placed down, it produces no charge, but like the lever, you must click it in order to turn on. But unlike the lever, after a few seconds, it turns itself back off. Also, you can use it to charge a block in the same manner. The next power source we'll be discussing are called pressure plates, and they come in 4 varieties: wooden, stone, gold, and iron. These function similar to buttons, however, they can produce a different effect, depending upon how they are used. Pressure plates generally activate when you step on them, and then deactivate when you move off. The wooden pressure plate is so sensitive that even if you place an item on top of it, the item will also activate the pressure plate. The stone pressure plate works just like the wooden pressure plate. However, if you place an item on top of it, it won't activate. Only entities such as mobs or players can activate this. Now, the gold pressure plate functions just like the stone pressure plate, as it requires either a player or a mob standing on top of it to produce a charge. But unlike the stone pressure plate, it produces only 1 charge per mob or player standing on the plate. If we increase it, say we put 3 down, now we have 3 charges of redstone. The iron pressure plate functions just like the gold one, however, it requires more mobs in order to produce a charge. It will produce 1 for the charge there. However, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, still only one charge, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, still only one charge, 11. Now we have 2. That's because the iron pressure plate detects one charge for every between 1 to 10 mobs or players standing on the plate, and it will only go up after you reach either 11, 21, 31, and such forth. The next redstone source is called the tripwire hook. To craft them, you use a wooden plank, a stick, and an iron ingot. You also get 2 rather than just 1 tripwire hooks, which is handy because in order to set this up, you actually require 2. Just put them on 2 adjacent blocks such as that, and put a string in between the 2. You will hear a click and they will move down when it is set. Like the name suggests, tripwire hook will activate when you walk across the string between the 2. As you see, it is now activated as I'm standing upon it. And when I walk away, it deactivates. In addition, it also powers the block directly behind it, like such. The next power source we'll be talking about is called the daylight sensor, and it is crafted using 3 wooden slabs, 3 quartz, and 3 pieces of glass. As the name suggests, the daylight sensor detects the sunlight, in which case, during the daytime, the power will be turned on and it produces a charge. However, once the sun goes down and it's night, it produces no charge. You can turn this into a nighttime sensor by simply right-clicking it, and it will produce a charge because it doesn't detect any light. This will go away by morning. The next power source on the list is called the trap chest, and it's crafted using a chest and a tripwire hook. The trap chest will produce a single redstone charge every time that it is opened. Next we have the detector rail, and it's crafted using 1 stone pressure plate, 1 redstone, and 6 iron ingots in the following configuration. Now on the detector rail by itself, even if you touch it or try to right-click on it, nothing happens. However, if you put a minecart on top of it, it will produce a signal. Last, but certainly not least, is the observer block, new to 1.11, and it's crafted using 1 quartz, 2 redstone, and 6 cobblestone. Also note that the face of the observer block will be facing the same direction that you'll be facing when you set it down. The observer block will send out a redstone signal every time it detects a block update from the block that it is facing. These updates include anything from having a block placed in front of it, having that block removed, or anything that may cause a change to the block that would register as a block update. And that concludes our first redstone tutorial video. Stay tuned for the next video where I explain the various devices and the effects caused by redstone.